Hi everyone. Today we are going to look at the Brix Distillers Tawny finished rum, which is actually a wine aged rum if you really want to be specific about it. And this is from a little distillery that is in Sidney, just a stone's throw south of the Sidney Opera House. Now, it was founded in 2017 by three friends, James Christopher, Damien Barrow and Siddharth Soin, and in a certain kind of weird way, they're the opposite of Jimmy Rum further down south. Now, Jimmy Rum is a place that's absolutely a distillery to which a restaurant and a tasting area have been tacked on, but Brix, which is more like downtown in Sydney, has gone the opposite way. They started with a restaurant and a bar, and then they leveraged up what's still inside it. Be that as it may, they've got a fair amount of products here. They have some spiced rums and infused rums, an Australian rum, aged rum, the urban cane rum, which we had looked at before in the 2021 Advent calendar. I quite like that one, actually. And today we're going to look at this one. Now, this is a pot still rum. They have a pot still, 1800 litres. They call it Molly, which is kind of sweet. It's kind of like a hybrid, actually. It's got a column tacked onto it. And they do get the molasses from Bundaberg up in Queensland, and then they just push it through. The fermentation period is about a week or so, and then they run it through there. Then they age it in the aforementioned Shiraz casks from Broken Wood Wines for about 3 years. Then they put it for 2 months in with a Tawny port, and then they push it out the door at 48.1%. So really, it's got the specs that you want out of a rum like this, although I think it possibly could be stronger. Now, here's the thing. The rum actually smells really nice. I do have a bit of it here. Someone just poured it straight in. I don't usually do this. I usually have it all set up before, but I'm in a bit of a rush here because I'm late, said the White Rabbit. Right? Oh man, it really is quite nice for 48.1%. Now, it's got a lot of caramel, it's got some bonbons, it's got very traditional rummy notes to it. So toffee, molasses, burnt sugar, a bit of spices, cinnamon, a bit of nutmeg, and so on. Really quite sweet. And there's some, you can't get away from that wine influence, because you do get some red grapes there, some kind of sweetish notes, right? It's a really sweet little rum there. But it's also got a little bit of edge. There's a bit of cardboard in there as well. And just a tad of paint and a bit of brine, and maybe one olive, perhaps half. It's a nice little rum. I quite like the nose. The taste, it pretty much follows onto it. Now, I would go so far as to say that there's some pastry, some key lime pie, there's a very thin citrus line in there, some salt, olive oil. I do like olive oil sprinkled on a set of toasted rye bread, and you get some of that influence there too, but you also do get the sweet red grapes. It's very, very nice to sip, soft as hell. For 48.1%, this is actually quite a keeper. Now, so far as I'm concerned, the rum doesn't really take any chances, and this is why I only give it 84 points. I would actually score it a point or two higher, but the truth is it plays it a little bit too safe. So what you're getting is a rum that really is a rum, but doesn't go any further than that, and it doesn't try to give you any sort of contrasting or competing notes, anything that kind of like ruffles the feathers a bit too much. Which is not to say it's bad. It's not. It's really quite sweet, quite nice, and I do enjoy it. It's a really good sip, and at 48%, it's just really good strength for that. But I do believe it could take a chance a bit more. They could just tweak the recipe a bit more and get a little bit extra out of it that would make it score higher. But be that as it may, it's like a lot of the rums that I've tried on this go around of the Advent calendar. It demonstrates a fair amount of potential that I can't wait to see what they're going to do with it in another few years. Because remember, at the end of the day, if I was to take a Caribbean rum that was, let's say, 3 to 4 years old, and it presented this kind of profile, I'd probably mark it down to about 78 to 81 points and say, you know what is this, right? Because I expect more from them. However, for a rum that's just shy of 4 years old, aged in Australia and made in the way they do with the way they do it, I think 84 points is really quite good, and it really is a very interesting rum that is going to go from strength to strength as time goes on. So I look forward to seeing what they do with it in the future. But for now, I think we should just accept it as it is, as a very nice little sipping rum that isn't going to break the bank. It isn't going to do anything unusual. It's simply going to play it safe and give you a really good experience. And perhaps that's all we can look for until they really get their shit together and put out something that'll blow my socks off. I can't wait. That's it for today, and I hope you enjoyed this short review. Take care. Bye-bye.